Welcome to a new Daily Top Askreddit video. Today's topic:
what sucks when you get married? Having to deal with in-laws who don't play nice with others. This times 9,000. Mine and her folks got along so well for the first 4 years that we were together and almost like BFFs. For some reason Mill hates my parents' guts ever since right before the wedding. No idea what happened. My mom reached out and got a "no, nothing is wrong" response. And Mill has never outright said it, but it's been very obvious with passive aggression and snide remarks anytime they've been around each other. The in-laws seem to love me. And my folks just say not to worry about the drama because it has nothing to do with my wife nor I. LMAO ours got along great until my mom did what she thought was a very nice gesture and used her genealogy skills to make a family tree for my Mill. Sounds great, right? Didn't even turn up anything weird or salacious or confusing. EXXXXCEEPT Mill somehow got convinced that her family was in the Holocaust and survived and moved to the US afterwards. They have no family heirlooms or stories or documents even suggesting this. They aren't even Jewish or know of a specific family member that ever was. But it's what Mill has decided is fact. Maury voice. The family tree determined that was a lie. Mil's been mad at her ever since. Fascinating, since my mom never once argued or denied it. She was like, "Oh I didn't find anything like that, but you know records can be so spotty. Especially when war is involved." Nope. Mill still hates her. She ruined Mil's imaginary Jewish ancestry and pretend vague Holocaust story. While my mom found zilch to do with Judaism or even any known relative simply living in Europe at all any time near World War II. She did find robust documentation of when her folks came over from the Netherlands in the 1890s. One of them even had some kinda higher position in the rare Jewish sect that is Czechs notes, the Dutch Reformed Church in America. It's just weird. IDK how to feel about it. It's funny and sad. My Mil's own mom is still alive, and was alive during World War II, and was raised by parents who were alive and living in the US during World War II. And she is just as confused by the Holocaust story as the rest of us are. None of Mil's kids heard this story until they were adults, either. It's like she just got a wild hair one day and decided that was her thing. My mom hadn't heard that story before making the tree, so she was so confused by Mil's reaction. Edit. I forgot. My partner did a 23andMe test a while back and it noted 0 Jewish ancestry of any type. There's literal DNA evidence. Crazy shit. Having to decide what to eat every night for the rest of your life while trying to accommodate the other. I dunno. What do you want to eat? Woman shrugging. No, not that. Our solution. If you shoot an idea down, you must suggest an alternative. Your spouse's family problems become yours. This is the biggest one, even in great relationships. All the annoying little quirks that your family members have are now twice as noticeable to your spouse, and vice versa. Amplified when you have kids. Little quirks, or worse. My parents are mentally ill. I warned my spouse, and he met them. We failed to prepare his mother. I spent the rest of that marriage with my Mill saying, "I just can't understand why your parents would act that way. Come on. I'm sorry. I know their behavior is atrocious. And I'm glad they went NC with me. But you're a psychologist. I'd think you'd at least understand why they are acting that way." Not being on the same level of dishwasher organization. Or towel folding. My wife will take folded towels out of the closet and refold them. Then complain she is so busy and can't get her work done. I'll tell her the towels were sitting alone in a dark closet with nobody looking at them. Not hurting her or anyone else. If she chooses to waste her time refolding towels, that's her own business. But she shouldn't complain about her own choices. I'll say, OCD sucks, huh? Both get the same reaction. Restaurant leftovers not still being in the fridge where you left them. I'm getting married in a few months. But my fiancé and I have cohabitated for nearly 5 years now. Every time she has leftovers, I leave them for at least a few days. To the point where I'm certain she isn't going to want them before I eat them. Grew up poor, so not a big fan of letting food go to waste. I would just ask, but I know she's too nice and will always say, "You can have them." No worries, even if she does. In fact, still want them. Once we got home from a night out and she drunkenly scoured the fridge looking for the leftovers. She'd forgotten she said I could have. And I felt fucking terrible. I think I've gotten pretty good at timing it. My wife has this incredible subconscious sixth sense where she can forget about leftovers of hers. Basically indefinitely, until 3 to 6 hours after I finally decide to eat them so they don't go to waste. She absolutely doesn't do it on purpose, and we've talked and laughed about it before, but I swear my timing and instinct is so terrible about when to eat the food because I think it's about to go to waste. If you're young, having all the extended family bug you about when you're going to have kids. Yes. Also being asked, how's married life? 5x a day everywhere you go for like 6 months. The same as dating life but with more paperwork. This is especially unhelpful if you're having trouble having a kid. After a while I got so annoyed at the question I'd truthfully answer, we've had 2 miscarriages. Thanks. Ask uncomfortable questions. Get uncomfortable answers. My wife and I had a miscarriage and then a stillborn. After our second, we went to a grief counseling group and met other couples with similar experiences. Overall good experience for us. But one part of it that was very cathartic was everyone sharing their thoughts on all of the nosy busybodies who feel they have the right to ask when you're gonna have a kid. One woman in our group came in one week and told us a great story that had happened a few days earlier. Earlier in the week she had been getting her nails done. It was the first time in a long time that she had really left the house by herself, considering that she was just grief-stricken and depressed for so long. She's getting her nails done and these 2 older women, probably late 60s, are also in there and are just talking up a storm. The woman from group is quietly sitting there when the 2 older ladies turn their attention to her and start making small talk. For some reason, the conversation turns towards children and she gets a pit in her stomach. They ask if she has any children and she says yes. She had 1 living kid but couldn't get pregnant again and had lots of losses. They continue and ask if she's going to have any more. She deflects and says something like, oh I don't know, we'll see. This isn't good enough and one of them comments, but sweetie, you are so pretty. You should definitely have more kids. This strikes a nerve and she lashes back with, yay well I've tried but they all keep fucking dying. She said the women didn't speak another word and left as soon as they could with just an, I'm so sorry, as they were walking out. My go-to for invasive questions, a long time ago, became, how many details do you want? I've got all day and no shame. Usually shuts people right on up. Wife and I are struggling to have a kid. I taught middle school for a long time so I have great control over my anger. But I'm gonna go fucking nuclear the next time some boomer acquaintance asks us when we're going to have a kid. Getting married in July, we're both men, and this question still comes up. My usual response is, we're trying, but I can't seem to get pregnant. That usually shuts the conversation up. As a woman married to another woman, I love this response. We don't plan on having kids. But that hasn't stopped creepy dudes from offering to be our sperm donors.